Did you know that Chiquita, the banana company, also smuggles guns and drugs? We're talking about Chiquita, the biggest banana corporation in the world. In 2007, they pled guilty to paying more than $1.7 million to a terrorist organization, and they smuggled 3,000 AK-47s to them and assisted them in smuggling drugs to Europe. But what you might not have known is that the banana industry has been involved in this shit for forever. Chiquita used to be United Fruit Company, and we're about to go from bananas to the entire global economic system and why every nation around the world is enslaved to the bankers and the CIA. Buckle up. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that the CIA wasn't formed until after World War II. But corporations were doing that same job for decades, even a century or two before intelligence agencies were officially formed. We're talking convincing foreign governments to kill their own civilians on behalf of corporate interests back in the early 1900s. Even before World War I, United Fruit helped instate a coup of Honduras, making the first banana republic. And then once the CIA was officially created, one of their first operations was helping United Fruit overthrow the government of Guatemala, their elected president. If you've been following along at all, you already know about how the Dulles brothers were involved here. As John Perkins laid out in the Confessions of an Economic Hitman, economic hitmen are highly paid professionals who cheat countries around the globe out of trillions of dollars. They funnel money from the World Bank, the U.S. Agency for International Development, and other foreign aid organizations into the coffers of huge corporations in the pockets of a few wealthy families who control the planet's natural resources. I should know, I was an economic hitman. And yes, they actually call themselves that. On the day in 1971 when I began working with my teacher, Claudine, she informed me, my assignment is to mold you into an economic hitman. My job, she said, was to encourage the world leaders to become part of a vast network that promotes U.S. commercial interests. In the end, those leaders become ensnared in a web of debt that ensures their loyalty. We can draw on them whenever we desire to satisfy our political, economic, or military needs. In turn, they bolster their political position by bringing industrial parks, power plants, and airports to their people. The owners of U.S. engineering and construction companies become fabulously wealthy. If the economic hitmen don't convince the governments of these countries to go along with this plan, then they send in the jackals, which is what you would normally think of as a hitman. And if that doesn't work, then they send in the military. He outlines how this has happened over and over again in more than a dozen countries all around the world. Because what most people don't realize about the CIA and intelligence agencies in general is that they were founded by corporate lawyers. The Dulles brothers, who founded the CIA, were both corporate lawyers at Sullivan and Cromwell. Even Bill Donovan, who was the founder of the OSS, the predecessor of the CIA during World War II, he was